Everyone, welcome to another Founder Wisdom Pod. We have Sarang Pani with us. He is CEO and founder at Inovact Private Ltd. So that's PVT Ltd. What does that mean? PVT.
It's a private limited company.
That's in India, right? You need to put those in front, right? At the back of the company. Well, he's a cool guy. He's a young guy. He built this social network for students. So we're going to talk about students, innovation, young brains, ambitions, everything in between building an app. So Sarang, tell us a bit more about yourself. Tell us about your company.
Thank you. So I am an engineer by degree and an entrepreneur by spirit. So I am building Innovact Social, where we have made collaborations simple, structured, and quicker for students and entrepreneurs through proof of work. So the entire idea is to make collaboration simple for entrepreneurs and students on projects and ideas. So what happens with existing social media platforms like LinkedIn or Discord, it takes a lot of time to connect, convince, and collaborate to work on different projects and ideas. And when I say collaborate, I'm saying this because students and entrepreneurs don't have the capital to hire people. So that's when they rely on collaboration. And that's a very tedious task. And we are on a mission to solve that particular problem.
Love it. I am looking for interns for my apprenticeship programs. They would build various apps with the Whisper API of OpenAI. I would also need some to build some OpenAI plugins, some new ventures that I am starting. I started outreaching to interns and juniors. I have lots of faith in India. I think there's amazing talent there, especially in the Bengaluru region. Chennai as well is quite promising. So what would you recommend me if I would act as the mentor here with the business acumen and drop like waterfalls of knowledge, but would need someone technical to actually do the work, plug everything together? How could we work together?
Superb. So see again, Innovact Social is just the right platform for you to find people to work with you, right? And there's a lot of talent in India, but the problem in India is a lot of students or people in general don't have proof of work, right? We're also trying to create awareness based on proof of work because a lot of people have resumes and CVs, but resumes are ancient, right? Anybody can fake a certificate or a resume, but proof of work is the future of recruitment. And we are also a platform where students and entrepreneurs get to build credibility using proof of work, right? So if you ask me, how can you find interns for a tech-based role? I think Innovact Social would just be the right platform. But again, we're in the MVP stage, so we're very early. We're trying to scale. So as of now, I wouldn't 100% assure you that you're going to find relevant people for your project, but maybe in the future you will get relevant people for the project with Innovact Social.
Yeah, pretty cool. Well, if you know anyone, you just let me know. And I'm also like, I have strong belief in young people. Obviously, they lack maturity and experience, which I had and which I can provide. I've been in their shoes as well. That was only like 7 years ago, theoretically. Started my entrepreneurial career a decade ago. And I'm open to give them parts of the thing, you know? It's just so hard to find someone that will deliver as equal accountability and output and energy as you do. So me, like, I don't have a problem recruiting young people that add huge value, do the work, and are quite impressive. Just that these folks are very rare and hard to come by. The main reason for that is that there's other opportunities out there, right? So they evaluate opportunity cost. Most of them do not have financial cushions, so they cannot go like all in into something that won't pay the bills, you know, which is why I recommend going part-time into stuff. But what's the advantage of having interns or young people work in your business as entrepreneurs, or even to partner with them like I would?
Right. So the first thing I would say is hunger, right? Young people, especially in India, are knowledge hungry, experience hungry, and they are ready to do even if you don't pay them, right? And you don't find that anywhere else in the world, right? Because a lot of people have opportunities, but in India, if you go to tier 2 or tier 3 cities, there are no opportunities at all, right? Especially in India, India is like full of engineering colleges and universities. But the problem is tier 2 and tier 3 colleges don't even have placement drives. So those people are hungry to work. They're hungry to gain knowledge from people like you and me. right? So, and if people are hungry and passionate, I'm sure they are going to be just the right fit for your team. And to answer your previous question, I also run a community wherein we have more than 600 members. Most of them are students, entrepreneurs. We have a couple of mentors as well as a few investors. So what I could do is I could add you to the community, and maybe if you're looking for people, you might as well get people to work for you inside the community.
That'd be cool. Yeah, not sure if I have time to be added there, but yeah, if you can post something for me there, that'd be cool. What pushed you to start Innovact? Like, why did you decided to start that one?
Thank you for the question. I was hoping to answer this. So it was completely through my personal experience, right? So when I was in first year, that is about 5 years back, first year of engineering, I started a venture, right? So I was working on electric vehicle technology. But after 1 year, we completely burnt out because I did not have the team that had the tech experience to build something that we were really ambitious about, right? So that's when I understood, if I need to build something, if I have to build especially a product that has to scale or a product that has to be great, I need a great team, correct? And in India, at least, to find a great team is really, really difficult. If I was building something, the first thing I would do is I would go and ask my friends, and 99% of my friends would not be interested, correct? And the next thing that I would do is probably go to LinkedIn, right? And LinkedIn in the student community is very underrated, correct? Most of them don't know about LinkedIn. And even on LinkedIn, the same problem. I have to connect, I have to wait for them to connect back, I have to convince and then collaborate. So that's a very tedious process. And I was fortunate to find a co-founder who had a similar experience in his startup. And that's when we kind of started to speak with our geeky friends. We spoke to a lot of entrepreneurs and knew exactly what we were trying to solve, right? Because we had faced it, people who knew were also facing the same problem. And that's how Innovact Social was basically born. And we've been in this journey for about 1.5 years. Apart from that, we also found out another problem, which is the huge gap between college and corporate in India, right? 18 lakh students, that is about 1.8 million engineering students graduate every year, and only 3% of them are fit for employment. So just imagine that, right? What about the rest of the 97%? And we found out the root cause for it. There are a lot of reasons, but one of them was no skill set, right? So those students don't have the skill set that the industry requires. So what we did, basically, we started student communities in different colleges, different engineering colleges. So basically what happens that the main objective of building a community is to promote skill development and student entrepreneurship. So how do we do that? We identify talent, we identified skilled students inside the college, we make them instructors, and we make them teach their peers, and we kind of facilitate this entire process, right? So it is basically application based hands-on learning from peers at an affordable price. So we only charge 49 rupees to 299 rupees. That is less than $1 to almost $4. That's the pricing, right? So that's more like an impact driven mission that we have. And so far we have upskilled and mentored more than 1,200 students in various domains of technology. So this is something that we are doing. It is more like an impact driven mission, but our major product is, of course, Innovact Social, where we are trying to solve the problem of collaboration.
Are you full-time into this? Is that your cash cow as well, or?
Okay, so yeah, I am full-time into this. Unfortunately, my co-founder had to quit because he went on to pursue masters in London. So in the first half of my day, I am a day trader, right? I've been trading in the Indian financial markets for almost 3.5 years now. And the second half of the day, I am a CEO. I'm an entrepreneur. We are a team of 12, right? So that's how it's been going. And so to answer your question, how do we manage our finances for the startup? How do we sustain ourselves? It's completely through the workshops that we conduct in colleges. So that's like a milk revenue for us that helps us sustain the startup, basically our tech cost and the salaries that I have to pay my interns and so on.
How did you feel when your founder left you? Because that also happened to me, like our paths diverged. How did you
Right.
feel back then?
It was, to be honest, it was miserable because he left at the point where things were starting to look good, right? That's when I really needed him, right? And I mean, I think it's more like a learning opportunity for me. I learned a lot of things. He was basically managing operations and business. I started learning about that. I started learning about marketing. So I will not see it as a failure. I will see it more like a learning experience. But one disadvantage of that particular scenario is I have started having trust issues, right? So tomorrow, if somebody wants to come and somebody comes and says, I want to become a co-founder, I would always think about, okay, this guy left. What if you leave as well, right? So trust issues is something, but again, it's a learning experience for me. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get to the point of trust issues myself, but obviously I was quite majorly disappointed. The trust issues are more on the employee side of things. I've been disappointed, deceived, and manipulated so many times as a founder by employees, which is a topic that not a lot of folks talk about, right? It's most of the time it's the founder, the CEO that is viewed as manipulative.
Correct.
The real uh the real topic here is that the real manipulators here are most employees. They're the one mostly winning in 80% of cases. They're just taking home a salary, they're taking home a knowledge, and some of them don't leave much in return, you know. But yeah, that's quite an interesting topic. We have a couple minutes left, so I want to ask you, where do you want to take Innovact? What's the vision for the company in the next 5 years?
Okay, so we have a very ambitious mission, I would say, vision and mission. So I want Innovact Social to be that place where entrepreneurs come and look for a team. So we really want to crack the way people collaborate, right? So to add on top of that, we are also coming with a motivation and a competition sense into the social network, because on LinkedIn you or Instagram you have no motivation to go back and post unless and until you have a huge follower base and you earn money from that, right? So we are trying to bring this score concept wherein each and every profile will have a score, so that people, and there are going to be perks based on particular score, so that people are competitive, people are motivated to come back and interact on the application, right? So basically the score is going to be based on how much you've interacted on the application, how many projects or ideas you've uploaded, how many teams you've been a part of, right? So ultimately, when we have all this data, I can just, with just a click of a button, I can tell a company, boss, there is one person like this. He has worked on so many projects. He has worked in so many teams. He has so much experience. Why don't you hire him? Right? So we are also trying to become talent manage. We are also trying to get into the talent management space, maybe in the next 5-10 years, right? But my vision for the next 2 years is it has to be the place where people find it easy to collaborate. We want to make collaboration very, very simple. And also a place where you build your credibility through your proof of work and not just mere certificates.
Got
Right.
it.
So this is the vision. And I mean, the bottom line is we want to be a support system for students and entrepreneurs. Bottom line.
Got it. And where can people find out more about you and Innovact?
Definitely. So you can find it on our website, which is innovact.in, innovact.in. You could also connect with me on LinkedIn. I also run a YouTube channel where I interview entrepreneurs like you. So you can get to know more about us on Instagram as well. So, I mean, you name it, we are there on all the platforms, right?